Guys, my name is Winnie and welcome to the Wheelspin Podcast, the home of Formula One content and everything motorsport. For those who are returning, a very big thank you and welcome. And for the newbies, a thank you for joining the Wheelspin community. So let's just jump right into it. Formula One round 10, the Spanish Grand Prix held at the circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. As we said, this is the penultimate Grand Prix that will be held at Barcelona before Formula One moves to Madrid from 2026 onwards. So this weekend was really poised to be, it's a traditional circuit, wide range of corners and tires and straights. So it's a perfect, and it's been used as a testing ground for F1 cars for so long. So this is a track where you come and test the workability of your car. So if you go first here, that means you relatively have a car that could go very well in other tracks, in the rest of the remaining tracks in the season. So we came here with expectation, knowing that Red Bull would do well here. That RB20, we've said previously, the RB20 is a Red Bull car. The Red Bull F1 car for this year has struggled in tracks that have bumps. That included, I think, Miami and a bit of Monaco. So we expected them to come here and do very well. And we were looking forward to this weekend to see a very competitive comparison of the Red Bull and the other cars. So that means if we see that the gap has actually come down, remember Red Bull won 21 out of 22 races last year. That means they have really been in their dominant era. And then coming into this season, we've already had 9 rounds. Prior to coming to the Spanish Grand Prix, we've already had 4 different race winners. That was amazing stuff, like knowing that at least the dominance of Red Bull seems to be not so dominant anymore. So this weekend was going to be very telling, as I had said in our pre-race show notes. That's always posted on our Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, whatever. So you can always catch up with that. So we came knowing that this weekend was going to be very important for the rest of the team. It's perfect for bringing upgrades, and also it's perfect because it's the first of 5 races that will be held across 6 weeks, which is actually like, I don't know how F1 teams have it in them to do that. It will be insane to see who comes out on top. We have this triple header. We have the Spanish Grand Prix this weekend. We'll have Austria. It's already race week, guys. It's already race week. It's crazy, race week. And then we go to Silverstone, and then we got a 1 week break. Then we go to Hungary, and then we finish in Belgium at Spa. So that's going to be like a very flurry-filled activity. 6 weeks for the F1 teams. I think they're equal to their task. We'll see who comes out on top, and who wins out before we go on a summer break. We go on the F1 summer break. So without any dilly-dally, let's just jump right into it. I want to start this debrief by, actually, this was also a Formula One Academy week. Remember, Formula One Academy is the F1 initiative that it's an all-female series that allows racing for the girls to increase their track time, to have this opportunity to hone their driving skills and increase their talent as well, and have all this track time. So remember, F1 Academy, 15 drivers we have, every F1 team has a driver in F1 Academy. They operate a livery. They have a livery in F1 Academy to just, I think, increase the sustainability, to enhance the sustainability of the series. So that was also exciting. And I also want to take you through the format very quickly. F1 Academy takes place 7 rounds this year. So every time they're running, F1 will be running concurrently with them. So F1 Academy format is 2 practice sessions, 40 minutes each. They have a qualifying session of 30 minutes, and then they have what they call race 1 and race 2. So the grid for race 1 is set by the time set in qualifying, the fastest time set by everybody. Whatever you rank, that will be your starting position for race 1. And then race 2 is your second fastest time during that qualifying session. Very interesting stuff, yeah. The Formula One weekend, the standard Formula One weekend without a sprint format, the standard, what we followed through this weekend is we start our weekend on Friday, 2 practice sessions. We go to Saturday, a final practice session in the morning, and then we go qualifying. Qualifying sets the grid for the Sunday's race. So when you see them line up on the grid on Sunday. That's the position that was dictated by qualifying. What time you set, the fastest time you set, is what allows you to be on that grid. So I think we're already I think I'm always like trying to catch people up so that we can all be together and all be on the same page as well. So I want to start this one. We have this exciting segment where we normally do the bee, the honey, and the sting of the weekend. The bee is what stood out for me wholesomely. The honey is the sweetest thing I saw from this weekend, and the sting is what was like a very big, ouch, painful moment for me this weekend. And I want to just jump right into it. My honey, before we just go into the debrief, my honey for this weekend has to be Lewis Hamilton returning to his winning ways for a P3, a podium place. That has to be my absolutely biggest highlight of the weekend, and I'm so sure it's a big highlight for everybody. Remember, Lewis has not really had the easiest season. We're coming from Canada where there were those, he came out and said it's one of the worst races he's driven and worst weekends he's had. And we came here in Barcelona. He loves Barcelona. He's won here so many times. He holds a record for most wins around here. He loves driving in Barcelona and in Spain. So for him to I love to see him so happy. I think everybody is happy when Lewis Hamilton is happy. And for sure when Lewis Hamilton is fighting on track and is hunting, everybody loves that. So for me, that has to be the biggest highlight for this weekend. Lewis Hamilton getting a P3 and, taking that podium. And he had to fight for it. Some awesome overtakes. That overtake on Carlos Sainz as well, sensational. If you can see the vision, it has potential to be one of the best overtakes for this season. I will wait and see what the rest of the season really has to offer, but that was like brilliant overtake. Also the overtake on Russell on that final stint on softs, that was also like an amazing move. It was a long time coming, but he timed it well. No error, just delivery, just fully sending it. Yes. Let me just go directly into my honey. I think my weekend will just really heavily revolve around Lewis Hamilton, because Lewis Hamilton has been splendid this weekend. And, bullying works, guys. We're coming from a weekend where there were rumors of internal sabotage coming from Mercedes on Lewis. When last time out, there were comments of, and I think we addressed it. We addressed it in our Canadian Grand Prix debrief. So if you want to, if that's your thing, you really want to understand what's really happening at Mercedes, this previous episode has all the tea. I debriefed that episode with one of our biggest fans, Heather. So you can go back right there. We discussed and talked about it at length. So this was a splendid weekend for Lewis Hamilton. So my honey for the first one, did I say honey? The first one has to be the B. The biggest highlight for me has to be Lewis Hamilton winning. The honey for this weekend, honey is something sweet happening all around. Again, as I said, my weekend revolves around Lewis Hamilton. My honey for this weekend has to be Lewis Hamilton again. In that post-race conference, so after the race, drivers go in the conference, talk to the media, the print media. Lewis was literally lying on the couch. I think that has to be the best photo that's circulating in Formula One at the moment. Him lying on the couch. He said he was listening to Bob Marley. Let's believe the man. He was listening to Bob Marley. He was listening to Bob Marley. Like him, it's so baby girl of him. He is so unserious, and it's so cute to see, essentially. So, and just on that note, Lewis has just been he's just been very unserious this whole weekend. He acknowledged Lewis Njoroge. That's what I'm calling him. There's someone who's masquerading as Lewis in the paddock, and I think during one of the sessions of Formula One, the broadcast showed him. There's another Lewis Hamilton. I don't know. That's really funny. And Lewis acknowledging him, when they were doing the drivers' hype event with the crowd, with the fans. That was really something. That is absolutely everything, not even something. I'm gonna ensure I put him a photo of him. Guys, tell me the difference. Corporate wants to see the difference. This is Lewis. This is Lewis. Njoroge. It's really a funny thing. My sting for this weekend, something that really hurt my feelings. My feelings are hurt. is Oscar Piastri. I was rooting for Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri is a McLaren driver. He's in his second season of Formula One, and I don't think he's had the best season start. Like, as in the last couple of races have not been very good for him as well. This thing has to be qualifying. He set a time. His time was deleted, so he's going into the race on a back foot. Like, he started P9, lined up P9 for the grid on Sunday, and then the race also was not like, the best start for him as well. So that has to be my sting for the weekend. Oscar Piastri and his qualifying, and him he's fighting with like the midfield. Like, your driver Lando Norris is fighting for wins. I don't understand why Piastri is just, I don't know. And I know for sure, like, McLaren weren't bringing any upgrades this weekend, so I can say there were upgrades on one car and upgrades on no upgrades on the other. So that has to be my biggest thing of the weekend. Oscar Piastri, oh my God, you're breaking my heart. But I know you'll be back. I trust you. We can be world champion, Oscar Piastri. I just need a bit more consistency, qualify as highly up as you can, and then, grasp the race, take the race, like a bull, take the bull by its horns. So that's my rally for Oscar Piastri. And with that, let's quickly round up the Spanish. Is it round up? Like, let's quickly get into the Spanish Grand Prix debrief. Did I even say welcome? Welcome to a Spanish Grand Prix debrief. So, like, right into it, qualifying. Biggest takeaway, Lando Norris on pole. Lando pulled that lap out of his, I don't know, the best orifice of his body. That was sensational stuff. Like, the margins this weekend were slim, very slim. It was beautiful to watch. Beautiful lap. You have to put, this is Barcelona. There's high deck. That means even though you fully stand at the start of the lap, and it's a relatively it's a very short. Is it short? It's a very short track, 4-point-something kilometer track. So if you finish your tires, exhaust your tires during the first two parts of the circuit, then that means you don't have the tire to tackle the last sector. So that was beautifully put by Lando Norris. He has the dog in him. He does. I know people say whatever they will say about Lando. Lando is becoming, I think he's just realizing, I can actually do this. I mean, Imola followed, fight to the line with Max Verstappen. Here he was like, I clinched pole, and I was really pretty excited for that. Like, this is game on. It's a pole, not because anyone made an error. It's a pole on merit. So I had very big expectations for McLaren really coming into Sunday. So, but like, impressive stuff by Lando to get that pole from Max Verstappen. And I think I want to just tackle this team by team. So I'll start with Red Bull for their race on Sunday. Red Bull finished P1 and P8 for Checo Perez. Good recovery drive for Perez. I think that's the most he could have done after starting P11. Like, he qualified P11 and then finished the race P8. So, I mean, that's the best they could do. Red Bull, I think it's just fair enough to say they don't have the fastest car. They no longer are the fastest car. So now what they're doing is, remember, they were already operating on this high level, like in terms of their pit crew, the strategy, driver, everything was working. Like, I don't even know how they were doing it consistently, weekend in, weekend out, for them to dominate so dominantly last year. So this weekend, we saw, even during the practice sessions, like, Red Bull did not look very dialed in. Like, they did not look like they had their weekend together. Their car was like all together. No, it didn't. It wasn't a straightforward weekend again for Red Bull. Max, I even had like team radio, being given the hurry up. Let's talk about that start. Lando starting on pole, Max Verstappen getting a better launch than Lando, and then George William Russell. George pulled it out of, I don't know, the best orifice of his body as well. He pulled Fernando Alonso 2013, a move from the back, like you get into the slipstream of those two drivers and then, let break, and he led the Grand Prix let it for like 3 laps or 2 laps. But still, that was like a brilliant move by George Russell. He also has the dog in him. The dog. I didn't say the dog. I said the dog. He has the dog in him. Yeah, so George, I might not like agree or like really rally behind George Russell all weekend, all the time, really support his decisions. But George Russell, that was brilliant racing from him. And it's always funny when I tell people, do you know like Formula One drivers have like a drivers association? It's called the Grand Prix something, like a Grand Prix organization for the drivers. And guess who's the chairman? George Russell. George Russell is the chairman for the Drivers Association, where they lobby for safety or anything that's really like, you know, you see the way we have like Masai, we have like problems and we have like our association to lobby for us. The fun drivers have that, and George Russell happens to be the chairman. And on that note, I also want to say a very big shout out to everybody who is showing up to voice their voice and to be heard in this country. In Kenya, we have like a revolution that's led by young people. You can check out our social, especially my personal page. I post a lot about what is happening in Kenya, and if you want to keep abreast with it, I'll also post a few pages that you should follow to know what is happening here in Kenya. The young people are revolting against punitive bills set by the government, and I am so proud to be a part of this generation and a part of this movement as well. Yeah, so that was it, like a brilliant start for George Russell. And Red Bull and Max Verstappen really, you know, being given, as I was saying, like now there was messages being given the hurry up, like Max, you need to think wisely, overtake here. This is the best chance we have. So we are seeing such messages. Previously, we would know Max has the fastest car. He will come, overtake everybody. He needs to beat his time. He will just get past you. But this time we had him being given the hurry up, not once, not even twice. We even had that Lando situation where Lando pitted for the soft, and like, you know, Max was being given the hurry up as well from the team. Like Lando is not saving these tires, like you need to hurry up as well. So yeah, it's not a very straightforward weekend for Red Bull, and it's good. We love to see it. Now Max is really having to work. I mean, he was already working because there's no race win, and I think I saw that question, and Max absolutely hates being asked that. So I think he's always being asked, oh, you know, did this feel like, you know, a bit harder because you fought for it? Does it feel better? But there's no race win that you're given on a silver platter. Like anything, you could have the fastest car and still not win. Like winning is not that straightforward. Like let's give him credit for winning that dominantly when he did. And I don't think there's an easy win. Remember guys, this is like, it's Formula One. You're going round a circuit, like for example at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, you're going 66 times. I'm always like so mind blown. Like, do you imagine going in circles? You have so many buttons, you have concentration. Remember, your body's also experiencing you know, different levels of G-forces. Like, it's a lot. And for them to concentrate and go around, not make mistakes, know that, you know, I know they're the best drivers in the world, like that's why they're racing in Formula One, but still, like, that is hard work. It's hard work. I don't know if I could do it. There's always that quote of people who can do, they teach. And that's why I'm here debriefing a race, and I'm not driving an F1 car. I've never really dreamt of being a racer, driving a driver, but it's always nice to appreciate whatever these drivers are doing actually, because I don't think it's easy work. It's a lot of work, and I think they need to be given credit for everything that they do actually. So I think they're effectively well compensated for the work that they do. So yeah, that was Red Bull. I wanted to check so the strategy for here, as we've said, the tire degradation is very high in Barcelona. And what it means by tire degradation is that means you're wearing your tires very fast, and that means you have to change them often. So going into this weekend, like, we know that the fastest strategy is a two-stopper. Two-stopper meaning you have to stop 2 times to change your tires, and that's the fastest one. So that means that's the maximum time that you can lose in the pits and still, you know, have like a good race. So we had a lot at the start, almost all the drivers starting on softs. Almost all drivers starting on soft, apart from apart from Alexander Albon. Yeah, I think I'm always like jumping. And so I want to, but it's always hard to talk about like teams races without really the rest of the grid intersecting. They have to interact because they're not racing against each other. The team Pekake, like it's everybody. So Red Bull, yeah, good recovery drive from Checo, but Checo continuously making his life harder. I don't understand why. He's just like me. I'm always trying to make my life so hard. Wait, he could just qualify higher up and finish the race in a good, like, so that you're not at a disadvantage all the time. I need him to stop self-sabotaging. I need him not. But also, you could argue, is there any sabotage? I haven't seen anything that could point towards like an internal sabotage from Red Bull. But I would love to hear your thoughts about it, guys. I would love to know what you think is happening to Checo Perez at Red Bull. Yeah, because we know like Checo is a good driver. He can win races. Checo is a brilliant racer, so I really don't understand. He's not he's not the best at being consistent. We have so many similarities. Oh my God, self-sabotage. We are not very consistent with things, but I need Checo to get on his Zoom. I'm gonna get on my Zoom, so Checo, I need you to get on your Zoom as well. So that was like standout thingy for Red Bull. Let's tackle McLaren next. McLaren has arguably the fastest car on the grid, and they still didn't win. They started on pole on merit, and I don't know why they keep like they don't have the best strategy calls. Like they kept undercut here and undercut in Barcelona. Undercut meaning you pitting fast before the driver who's ahead of you, so that you can be on fresh rubber. That means fresh tires, and come and overtake them. You can overtake them like on track when you pit earlier than the rival. So the power of the undercut is very powerful here. So I don't know why I want to see this strategy. They went up to 23 laps with Lando Norris and then pitted him for mediums. I don't think they're making the best calls at McLaren. And I know sometimes it's hard when McLaren has not been in its winning, it's not been consistently like a challenger for wins in Formula One for a long time. And I'm so sure maybe they really don't know how to act, but I need them to get on their Zoom as well. I need them to understand Lando has effectively, I really do love the word. Lando has now overtaken Leclerc in driver standings. Lando is in P2. It's P2 now. He's fighting for the World Championship. And if you're fighting for the World Championship, we are now going into this territory with McLaren every weekend. Would have, should have, could have. No. McLaren could have won in Canada. And I also believe McLaren could have won in Spain. And I don't think there's so much fun to talk about it. Like, I know this weekend there's always like a running joke. This is especially when Lando is starting like pool. This is the weekend that Max Verstappen fans and Lewis Hamilton fans unite, because there's that whole, not very good rapport with Lewis Hamilton fans and Lando fans. I mean, arguably so, but I really was rooting for him. Personally, I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan. I was rooting for Lando. I thought he had it in him. He had the car underneath him. I think they would have won. They could have won. But again, would have, could have, should have. We shouldn't be doing this with McLaren, because I think they need to be serious. They need to be serious. They need to be like set. I know they have strategists there who are well sober and well learned and they're smart. Do better. Like, let's not have, gone are the days where like saying, P2 is the best. No, P2 for you, McLaren, is not the best. P1 should be the goal. And I think Lando keeps on saying, and I really love it with Lando, is like, no, I'm not fighting anybody else. I'm fighting Max. But then if you're going to fight Max, please give him the tools. And tools effectively means good pit stops, good strategy calls. McLaren, my eyes on you. We're going to Austria. Please get your shit together. I need you to get on your Zoom. I have this man give us the fire. McLaren, you have the dog in you. Andrea Stella, I believe you. Andrea Stella is the team principal of McLaren. Zach Brown, please get your crew together. You guys have won races before. Act like it. Correct. Oscar Piastri, as I said, I think I already talked about him when I was talking about the Sting. Oscar Piastri, not the best, not the Sir, P7, when your teammate is fighting for wins, it's not looking good, Oscar. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. It's not looking good. I need you to also rally. You can do it. You are a race winner. You've won a sprint race. That's still a race. You have won a race, Piastri. And I'm always rooting for you. We're all rooting for you. Give us a taste of whatever you gave us last year. Your rookie season was impressive. Now, bring it, keep it together, qualify nicely, and race on Sunday. I mean, we've given you ample time to acclimatize to that car. It's 10 races in. We're going to 11th one. I need you, Oscar Piastri, to do whatever. What do Australians do? I don't know, but do it. You have it in you. You can do it. Ferrari. Let's talk Ferrari. No, let's talk Mercedes first. Mercedes, excellent weekend for Mercedes. I do not know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why you got this. I do not know how you recovered, but you're recovering nicely, girl. Wows. I mean, apart from the whole drama of Mercedes that I really do not want to get into. But if you want to get it, we will get into it. We got into it in the Canadian Grand Prix, and I don't want to delve into that much, really. I don't want to give it so much airtime. Yeah, Mercedes, excellent start from George Russell, leading the race, albeit for 2 laps, 3 laps. Great effort. So good. Apart from that slow stop for George Russell with Mercedes, yeah, that fucked him up. That really messed his race as well. And it was nice to see, but also that strategy that you guys went on, starting on softs, they did mediums, and then they pitted George for hards. Of course, it was going to be close at the end because that was not the best strategy. Yesterday, the most optimal strategy was to start on the softs, pit for mediums, and then pit for softs. Soft, medium, soft. So this was the fastest. That's what Max Verstappen did. That is what Lando did, that's what Hamilton did, and that's how he was able to get past Russell, even after Russell beating first. Yeah, so I've already talked about Lewis and what as in he was my honey, he was my honey and bee, the highlight for this weekend. Lewis Hamilton, not a best start for him as well, but I mean, not the best start, but then he didn't lose any more apart from that position by George Russell. That's what demoted him to 4th. Because George had that excellent start to the race. So I think that's it. Good strategy calls from Mercedes yesterday for Lewis Hamilton. I don't know. You've shut my mouth. Personally, you've zipped me. I'm sad. I'm sad. I want to listen now. I want to hear. But still, I'm sad. But I have my glasses on, my eyes on you. My eyes are still on you. Yeah. So I might be sad, but we're still have a binoculars on you or whatever. A microscope is still there, right there with you to see if you try other funny things bad strategies or whatever. So I think it was a very good run for Mercedes. P3, P4, perfect. They got podium in Canada. Oh, Mercedes is returning into contention for the upper, not for wins though, but we might see them competing for race wins later. But yeah, impressive stuff from Mercedes. Is there anything else I really wanted to say from Mercedes? No. Good strategy calls for one driver. So the other, I mean, please also just don't race with one driver. Have everybody in mind. Correct. Let's go to Ferrari. Ferrari, I saw someone tweet something. I mean, it's nice to see Red Bull or to see Ferrari. I mean, I'm not very attached to Ferrari, so I'm you could watch the drama from a fan, be ooh, what is happening in your house, Tifosi? What's happening? And then I remember that's where Lewis Hamilton is going next year, and I'm it's not looking good. Yeah, so the Ferrari team looks to be something happening. So during this, let's just address it, what's happening with Ferrari. Not even what's happening, what happened in Spain. So we had Carlos Sainz overtake Charles Leclerc. I mean, apparently at the start, I think that was around lap 3. That's how Sainz got ahead of Leclerc. Leclerc argues they had the way you debrief before the race, at your before the teams before you come into the racing when you're talking about strategy. Yeah, so apparently they're supposed to be in management. They had the soft tires, they were saving the tires because they wanted to go long, and actually yes, Leclerc did end up going long, but then they banged wheels. Leclerc claimed to have damage. Fred Vassar, I think, said there was any minimal damage really, but like I don't know if there was damage. They touched. I think one of the drivers went wide. That was Sainz, and then still got ahead of Leclerc. I don't know, Ferrari. I mean, I don't know. I'm very shocked because Ferrari most of the time does not like stop these things from happening. Ferrari allows wheel-to-wheel racing with their drivers. They never stop them. Like actually, hold position. Never. It's never hold position. Like it's giving Monza last year again. Like they let them race. They let them hard race each other. And I think I also picked it up on like the other weekend, which was 24-hour Le Mans, the World Endurance Championship round, and I actually saw the same racing of Ferrari, like cars. They're racing each other very hard on track. No calls to like, okay, let's help each other out. No, it's a thing. I love it. No, I love it. And I watched 24-hour Le Mans and I loved it, guys. I can't wait for next year's again. It's actually like a banger. And Ferrari won that one. Amazing race. So yeah, I think it's a precedence they have. So I don't know what else to like. I mean, those are two drivers. There was that clip that was played when they were coming out from their cars and they're like, "Wait, come on! What were you doing? What did you think about whatever?" And already in the post race shows, they're already like blaming each other. Carlos is like, "That's just Charles. He's always hot like that." Okay, yeah, he is hot, but like he's hot with anger. Is like, he should not have done that, you know. And then I think they'll just solve it or not. If they don't solve it, more fun for us. So Ferrari finishing where they started, so nothing really outstanding from them. They finished P5, P6. Charles Leclerc went long, and you know, but Sainz. The Sainz strategy was not really the best as well. Like they put him on hards at the end. The hards didn't seem to be the best thing to be on, as proved by George Russell. He had already, in fact, like I said, the undercut where you pit in front of the person ahead of you. They had undercut Lewis Hamilton, but Lewis was able to get past Carlos Sainz. All I see is Sainz. All I see is Carlos Sainz. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even think about anything else that they're having at Ferrari. I think I'll just like boil it down to like sibling rivalry, like where you're like, no, you're not supposed to. Mom said this, let's not do that, and you did it, and now you caused me. It's very childish. I find it very childish, but like. Just it's all about racing. If you're racing each other, that's good for us. I don't want to engage in other side shows. No, I like the side shows. I'm lying. I love side shows. I love side quests. And I'm always such a big fan of seeing F1 drivers doing random things. Like it's always crazy. And I think the one who wins the side quest thing is Bottas. Valtteri Bottas, whatever you can think up in your head, he's doing it. He's always doing random. He's on top of trends. He is on top of trends, especially those are funny, hilarious. Like Kick Sauber's socials are extremely funny. They are very, very funny. So for sure, like what is his name again? Valtteri. I know Valtteri's name. Valtteri is a king in my books. I love Valtteri Bottas, and his side quest the best favorite. Let's go to the next team. Ferrari finished wherever they started. P5, P6 for them. Not the best weekend. I don't even know what's happening with them. Ferrari had so many upgrades. They had come to. They was. Why would you threaten us with a good time and deny us a good time? Fred Vassar, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz. Don't threaten us with a good time and not deliver. Threaten us with a good time and give us a good time. That's my thing for Ferrari this weekend. The other teams, I think I'll just quickly go through them. Those Alpine, you're so slay. Starting with having the heaviest car on the grid, and now you guys are finishing in the points. 2 races running, amazing stuff. You missed Gasly a little bit with a slow stop. That was like not the best, but still good points for them. Like good points for Alpine. 10th for Bestie. P9 for Pierre Gasly, and they also both made it into Q3. So slay of Alpine. Not so slay for them hiring Flavio Briatore. So they have a new executive advisor, Alpine. Alpine are always like firing, hiring. I can never keep up. There's always something new happening. So they brought on board Flavio Briatore. Flavio is not very new with the Alpine outfit. He's worked with Alpine when it was Benetton. Benetton racing with Michael Schumacher, 1994-1995. They won a championship. And then raced with them when they were Renault. Won a championship with Fernando Alonso. 2005, 2006, I guess, yeah. So, but then now, you know what's the gist of the whole thing? The gist is that this man had been banned in Formula One before. He had a ban. He was like, no, you're banned. For race fixing. Let's go back. The Crashgate. Crashgate is the events of the Singapore Grand Prix 2008 where one person crashed from their team, crashed to allow Fernando Alonso to win that race. That's called race fixing. So and they were investigated. That the Flavio was the managing director of the team at the time for Renault, and he was banned. He appealed. He was taken out. And you know, of course, the big boys are defending him. Toto Wolff said, you know, let's forget about the past. Let's move forward. Of course, Toto would say that. Of course, he would say that. But me, I'm gonna side eye them a little bit. Like I'm gonna always like you're always making questionable moves, but I'll say your car has gotten lighter. You're doing better this season. So good for Alpine. Good for ST Bestie. You ousted my driver though. ST still doesn't have a seat. Esteban Ocon doesn't have a seat, and it's stressing me out. It's stressing me out. It is. Seriously, it is stressing me out. I'm going to talk about, what's the other team? VCAM. VCAM absolutely haven't had a new car this weekend. They didn't seem to get over it. Like, I don't think they understand the car yet. It has potential. They could understand it. Like, they could. But this weekend was a struggle for them. Like, with P15. Was it P15 for Kai, and then P20 for my baby. P15 for Daniel Ricciardo and P19 for Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda got a time penalty for I think a pit lane impeding or something. No, not safety car. Impeding something. Or speeding in the pit lane. I don't know. He got a penalty that took him to P19. I don't want to talk about them, but they have new upgrade. Let's give them time. Maybe next weekend they will be on top of their game. Kick Sauber. No, let me talk about Haas. Haas P11 and penalties for both drivers. But I'll still continue saying Haas are on a very good trajectory. Like compared to them last year, like they're really doing pretty much okay. And now they've been overtaken by Alpine in this constructors. I'm so sure that will be something that's more motivating for them. So P11 for Nico Hülkenberg, who had like a penalty. Kevin Magnussen, of course, like Kevin Magnussen and penalties are constant. Pookie, please. K-Mag. Still doesn't have a seat. I don't think he'll race in Formula One next year anyway. So Kick Sauber, I don't think they were running a good races. Like they didn't have like a very bad anything, but P16, P13 for sure, not a very bad stint actually. What other team haven't you talked about? We've talked about everybody. I hope we've talked about everybody. Yeah, we've talked about Abi and yeah. Oh, Williams. I think Williams. It was not this circuit was not going to suit them absolutely. They have a heavier car now. It's a lot of this car doesn't like the traditional circuits. Probably they'll go well in Austria or in Silverstone as well, but it doesn't like Spain. They were going to struggle. So P18 for Alexander Albon, who started in pit lane for changing a power unit component of the car, and Sargent P20, who claimed it was the toughest races of the year. I feel for that team. I feel for them, but I know they will be back with their team principal James Vowles. They will do everything they can to get back on in like at least scoring points, wins. Kicks up. Aston Martin. Aston Martin, they developed backwards. You know, at some point, Aston Martin were always fighting for podiums with Fernando Alonso. But now, it's not looking very good. That was Fernando's home race, and it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And Fernando Alonso finishing 12th. Lance Stroll P14. Nothing to really celebrate about. Any records being broken this weekend? Sainz continued his record, his point scoring streak. I think 9 point scoring streak for his home race. Amazing stuff. Lewis Hamilton passes 198 podiums now. He's passed that achievement to himself. He previously held it, and now he holds it again. A record 198 podiums in his career. Impressive stuff, Lewis. And also, he scored a podium 18 consecutive seasons. Impressive stuff. My God, is great. Like, what do you mean, guys? Lewis Hamilton is great. Max got his 61st win this season, and do you know, it's crazy, Red Bull in its whole F1 like history, they've won 120, and now 61 of those times have been won by Max. That's how dominant Max Verstappen has been. Impressive stuff, and I'm so happy. We're going to Austria. That is Red Bull's home race. Yeah, by some degrees their home race, because that's where their parent company is based, the ones who own the Red Bull racing team. That's exciting stuff. I think that's all for me. Like it wasn't like it's not a race that really delivered, but it was also not short of action. So that's it for me, guys. Imagine Nivo, like that's it. Like, interesting things from the rest of the teams. If there's anything I needed to address, I'm so sure I'll address it. It's a back-to-back race week, so I'll see you then. Like, so thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for always supporting the World Spin. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more of this content. Follow us on social media at Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. The handle is at the World Spin Podcast. Also, if you wanna talk to us, and remember to tell us your thoughts about this race in the comments, or from whatever you're listening to this show from. That's it from me. Thank you for always supporting us, and thank you for always tuning in. I'll see you this week again, because it's race week. It's the Austrian GP race week. Thank you so much, guys, and have a lovely week. Keep safe, and keep being the beautiful person that you are. And I'll see you next week. Bye.